somewhere. Hope she didn't drop me. But anyway, right. So another just talk here. Just talk. If you wanna find the stuff, the photos and all that, you can look on my website. More of those things. And this this question was that, well, somebody asked me a question. China asked me a question about really like the roles of the men's and the ladies, and I started writing it down, and I do this thing called mind mapping, where you write a word, and then what does that relation to the word, and then you do this, and that's how I come up with some of the stuff that I do. So anyway, I did this mind mapping on this the women, and then it kind of like just kind of went way over, but also thought about I'll show you about before Corona, BC. Um, there was a person that asked me about the clanship thing. Yamage, look on my website. It's right there. And came back and she said, I didn't find it on there. Okay, it's right there. But I realized that I don't title my stuff on my website in English. Sometimes I put a parentheses, this and that. But the majority of it is just all autumn titles and what we call it an autumn, kind of like sneaky way to hide stuff. But anyway, um, so this thing is Machabaga clanship. It's in autumn. It's called Wehmgal. Wehmgal. Worm means together, and Wehmgal means who's together with you. Who's on your side, who's on your team, who's in your group. Like that. So that's what they called family before. Now we call it familia. But familia is really a Spanish word. Come from the word family, familia, and then familia. But autumn we call it Wehmgal. Those people that are with you. So your same blood. So this question was about this clanship thing, Machamaga, and again I have to go backwards before I answer Kachina's question. So I decided Masmamboju, and so this thing Machabaga clanship Wilmagar in the autumn system, and it's different from all the other systems. Um, and just looking on the site, I was reading it, and then I realized there's a lot of details that are not on there, but I'm trust the with them for me. But because I know that a lot of people take this information and they mishandle it. They write books and stuff, and to me that this information really needs to go to the payment really needs to go to the ancestors. So and go back to Itoy. So I know my work how much come and they put these things together and charge a lot of money and good the hujurukach, which I guess it's okay if you don't have any, but anyway. So this Wormgard in the autumn clanship system, there's four of them. And again, when you petition autumn, every time when you petition autumn, I'm not talking about Gila River or Salt River or Akchin or Tohono or Shoaga Hiachet or Shoaga those people in on that side in the southern part of the I'm not talking about Hugam. I'm talking generally about all autumn because this is one of those things in our culture that was given to us. Excuse me, wait. That wasn't the corona. That was just me. I had a lot of chili earlier. Anyway, so this this clanship is about autumn, and when you kind of doubt stuff, sometimes you have to go back, and I'm always when you must teach about autumn, but I don't put down what people have done. I'm just saying that that rightfully things should be that way, but like either Mirgan and Juchcom, like Father Kino and all these other ones like Underhill and Russell and Saxton and all those guys, they took a lot of the autumn stuff and they wrote it down But Chicha, that it's all the information should have been written by an autumn, yeah, but they didn't do that back then. I don't think because we didn't know how to structure those things. So how much we're doing it. But in the old way, if you look in the old text, the old books, you'll see some of this manyama in Mexico. On my right down, they discovered these all these baptisms that the priests did, and a lot of them are Spanish, and some of them have that clanship on there. Mamugam, Wawgam, Apapakam, Apkikam. They have those names on their birth name or what Matpasmama Chuchuk. And there's documents down there that mention that there is a clanship system. There are documents up in Gila River, and they're all the same. They're not different. Then that's the one great thing when you have Chicha and people say, "Oh, those Pimas up there," or "I'm Pima," or whatever. But yeah, there's just all autumn. You don't care about that stuff. It's just all autumn because we follow the same clanship system. So either this clanship when you're back, um, when you look at the the books, like there's a book called The Pima Indians, written up there way a long time ago, way in there, and it mentions that the elders who spoke in that the words were written in that book, they mention Vav and Apap Apki. They mention those clanships, and there's no mention of the fifth clanship. But anyway, so when you look at that, those you can say that that those people back then followed that family system. So sometimes I hear people with Mu'agad, and it's really funny. This one man was talking to me and telling me something that my cousin was telling him about the clanship system. And he said, "I don't think that's true. I never heard that. My grandpa never told me that." And I was just laughing. I didn't even sometimes when people ask questions, then you're just so, I don't know, you just don't want to reply. So I didn't reply. Come up, I'm up, and so anyway, so there's this clanship system that we follow, Usich, and Hiachet, and the documents there, Mamaga, it's the same thing. There's four of them, and I don't know if there's really an order. It depends on who's telling you the story. They'll put that order first, and generally they'll put their clanship first. For me, it was my grandfather, Mamasama Manyagit, in the very beginning. But I find it in books, and generally it's our clanship that's the first one mentioned in the book. Now, how were they created? How did the clanships come? Itai was the one, or Su'a, if you call him that, or Mantisuma, whatever you call him, that man, the elder brother. He was the one that went down below the ground and pulled these people from below, Matpachut people, and he pulled them below, and then he led them out of the underworld, and he came up on top, and that's why that in the creation myth, in that part of the myth, they call us Wushkam. Wushkam, they don't call us Autumn. Wushkam, because the people came out, Abiuha, Abiush, out of the ground. So Wushkam. So they came out, and when they came out, he had separated them to four different groups, and he taught them how to fight. He taught them the system of fighting. It's funny. You look in that book, that book about war, that Japanese guy wrote a long time ago. All those things are in there in the Hokyaga, are in that book. How did that guy know? Did Autumn teach him? I don't know. But those styles, they're all in there. So Ito had taught them that stuff, and what should call him elder brother now, since somebody's gonna say that's not a. So anyway, elder brother pulled them out and led them out of the underworld. So the first ones that came were Mamakam. They called them Mam, M-A-H-M, or M-A:'M, Mom. Mom, just like you say your mom, like your mother, Mom, but you elongate that A sound, Mom, Mom. So those are the first clanship. The second ones that came out are what they call the Wow. Wow. So it's just kind of like taking the M in Mom and flipping it upside down so it becomes a W. So first one is Mom, and the next one is Wow. Okay, so they came out of the underground, and they followed the elder brother out into the world. Then the next part is the the next group. The third group is called Apap. 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 Kind of sounds like Papa, but without the first P. Apap. The and funny in other languages, fathers always has something to do with AP. So anyway, these people that the third ones came, they're called Apap. Apap. And then the next people that came out, the next group, they called Apki. 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 So they came out, and legend has it, if you want to read or you want to hear the story, you got to come find me, or you got to find it someplace and read it. Apki is the fourth one, and what happened was that if when they came out, the coyote started laughing, and so the hole that where they were coming out of closed, so it left half of those people underground. And it is said in the olden days when they used to separate the clanships, they would put the mom one place and the wa one place and the up and the upki. There was always just a few of those upki. There was never a lot. There was always just a few. Like if you had 100, you could say 20, maybe 30 would be mom and 30 would be wow and the other 30. But then just the very few of them would be the upki clans, because there was few of them, because again the belief was that the hole that they were coming out of closed and left half of the people underground. So the other half that came out, that's why there's not many of them. So now they came out and they fought for Itoy, and they rubbed them out. These people that were here, they called them the Huhukam. The word Huhuk means like there's no more. They're gone. Like if somebody says, like, give me some toilet paper. Huhukat. Huhukat. No more. There's no more. Huhukat. That's what the word means, huhuk. So huhukam comes from that word, hagi. Huhukat. There's no more. So I don't know about ancestryship and all that stuff, but if they were ancestors, the myth, the autumn creation myth doesn't talk about that. So, okay, so there's only one that I know that had survived that in my story that I heard. One little boy that survived that sits way over there and around the that wash that way down there by almost to Hermosillo. That's where he sits. And there's a whole another story about him and how the autumn knew that. So okay, so there's those four clanships, those four families, Moities they call them. So those are the four. Now, you get your clanship from the father's side, your father. My great great grandfather was, and my great great grandfather was, and my great grandfather, and my great grandfather, and his father, and my dad, and all the way down to me. That's how it goes. It doesn't go on the mother's side. Some of the other tribes that are close to us and around us, they do their mother's side. They get their clanship from their mother's side. But for autumn, we get it on our father's side. Okay, so that's what it is. Your father's side. So when you talk about Rugam, the clanships, they're based from the father's side. Now, I've heard them, and I also mentioned this when you're in class, and then people say, "Oh, that's not right," because I'm from the Coyote clanship, or somebody will say, "I'm from the New." Okay, there's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, so the four clanships are split in the half in the middle. Two of them belong to the New, and two of them belong to the Ban. The Nui has two arms, and the Ban has two arms. So there's duality in both. So here is your clanship. The Nui has a right and a left. So the clanship stand on the right and the left. So the one side is the Mamagam, and the other one is the Waukam. So those two, Mamagam, Wowgum. And so those are under the New. The New is their clan father. The New is their totem animal. That's the one that they consider like their head core. That the one that they look to for guidance and also respond in that way. How like in spirituality how you respond. They are the New. Now the New is a bird. The big bird, and these people, the different tribes, and they come to us and they teach us stuff from outside, and so because we don't really understand our own, sometimes we take on what they say. So a lot of times, you'll see like on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a picture of an eagle, and everybody, oh yeah, that's the greatest bird in the whole. But in the autumn system, believe it or not, the eagle is not the top one. It's the New. New is because he is a clan father. Now, how was the New created? Way in the beginning, in the creation myth, they needed definition to the earth. So Jiwatamake took the darkness and he turned it into a bird, and he let it fly, and this bird went out and made the mountains and where the water runs. And so a long story again. So Nui is that bird, and that's why that Nui is the far. But it's also dangerous. The Nui can make you sick, can make you how do you say it? You can die from that. But okay, so this guy brought me a feather one time, and he said, "Can I put this in my cap?" And I said, looked at it, and I said, "No." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Cause where did you get it?" And he said, "Over there by the road. There was laying over there, and I got it, and I thought I got put it in my cap. It's a big feather." And I said, "When?" He said, "When did you find it?" I said, "About, I don't know, about 4 days ago. Found it on the road, but I just kept it in my room, and then I thought, well, I should go and put it in my cap, but then I really wasn't sure if I should or not, and so I did it, and wait, there's a picture here. Who did that? Okay, that's my ceiling right there because I'm talking into this thing. Oh, you can't watch the ceiling. So anyway, so the New went is the bird that came, this feather came from. And so this guy said, why not? And I said, are you feeling okay? I mean, does it hurt when you pee or stuff like that? And he's kind of like, maybe. It's just kind of like starting. And I told him, you know what, that that feather, it causes STDs and sexual transmitted diseases. So you might get gonorrhea or AIDS or something that's sexually. And he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You think you need to go to the hospital and get yourself checked up, because that's what the New does. The feathers." So I told him that, and so he never called me back to tell me what happened. But anyway, I told him, if you have a girlfriend or if you're at home, I think you need to tell them, your girlfriend or your mom or whoever. I think you need to tell them because you might be sick or whatever. So that's the New, okay. Again, and then after that is the Ban on the other side, of the clanship system is the Ban. He's the one that is the father, the totem animal for the other side. So the Ban is for up and upki. So again, the Ban has a right hand and a left hand. So up and upki. That's how you would say, those what do you call them? How do you say, like how you would say the words up and upki. So the Ban, it takes care of those two families, and so the the same thing with the Ban is that it's dangerous. You're not supposed to point at the Ban. You're not supposed to um, mimic or do anything because he's a mahke. He's the waymaker. He's the one that creates the ways for people. And if you miss, what do you call it, miss, if you don't, how do you say, if you don't respect him, or you mistreat, or if you do anything to hurt the bun, it can come back and it can do something bad to you. It causes death, or it causes like bad luck. A lot of bad luck. A lot of people do that, and they do something against the bun, and then they got a lot of bad luck, and they lose their job, or they there's different stuff like that, and they have to appease him back to get their luck back. So here come those people like that. That's the bun clanship. Now the bun, the bub, same thing. There was a guy out here when we were working on the road. He came, and he's an Apache guy, and he was asking because he's seen all these coyotes around. He was saying that you should get a 30-30 and shoot them. And I said, why? And he said, so you could get the pelts. That's what we do up there. We get the pelts and we sell them. And I said, we don't do that here. And he said, why not? And I said, he's a clan father. And he said, the coyote? I said, yeah, but he's the trickster. I said, no. In the autumn system, it's not the same. I mean, like in other tribes, you hear that coyotes are, yeah, he does that kind of stuff and he makes tricks and stuff, but primarily he doesn't he's not like some of the other stories that I've heard. There's some stories like that, but not a lot. So he's just the guy who makes the mistakes and gets himself in trouble and stuff like that. So that's the bun, autumn bun, or the way that we how do you say, the way that we know the bun. And again, bun was created in the beginning before anything else came. Most of the stuff that's here came. The bun was the product of the sun and the moon, the light of the sun and the moon. And so he was born. He wasn't created by Jewett Maka or Itle, but he was born, and so he is the clan father. So, okay, if you look at it this way, the two clan fathers that we have, the bun and the Nui, are those two animals that generally don't really kill their own food. I mean, they will, but most of the time, other animals will kill the food, and whatever they leave, then the bun and the Nui will come and eat it. Most of the time, not all the time. They do kill, they do stuff, but they just kind of sit around and wait. And that's why we know them like that. That's why in the stories they behave as such. So the two clanship fathers, Bun and the Nui, are Hugam, those that are again created. They were created differently. They were not created like we were, Autumn or any of the other creatures. So the one is to take care of the above, which is the Nui, and the one to take care of the below, the ground, is the Bun, because the Bun runs all over on the desert. And the Nui flies all the way up, in the clouds and all that. So again, those two animals, those two totems that we have, those are the two fathers, clanship fathers, that we have in the Autumn system. Now you that are Autumn, you belong to one of those clanships through your father, okay? Right now, there are not many Autumn people that are full-blooded. If you're half, say you're half Gila River, and your CIB says you're half Gila River and you're half Dawn Autumn, you're still a full-blood Autumn because it's all Autumn. The different is the government that's one that's doing that. They're separating us into different tribes. If you're Salt River and you're Gila River, and you're half and half, you're still Autumn. So you're still full-blooded. Even though you come from different tribes, because again it's mainly a numbering, a money thing. Who belongs to whom, as far as Mirgan is concerned, as far as the government is concerned. But as far as spirituality is concerned, you're a full-blooded Autumn. So if you're born in Mexico and then you have a child with a woman that's from Salt River, and she's full-blooded, and you're full-blooded, the man is full-blooded, then your child is full-blooded Autumn. Okay? But the papers again because the government, American government, separated us into tribes, and so that's why we do it like that. But there's not many full bloods, and much. There's more and more. Seem like every week there's more and more children being born that are from people from outside, Chuchgam, different tribes, Mirgan. There's some Indians, some Chinese, and that are half and half. So you can't stop that. That's the way the world is now. Um, but and there's no Jew. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that when you do that, the blood kind of like goes outside. So in the olden days, you got your clanship from your father's side. What if your father is not Autumn? What if your father is a different tribe or a different race? You are still Autumn, but your father is not from one of the original four clanships. So that's why they have this other clanship, this other Wehmgal they call Ogor, Ogol, Ogor, and that's where the word Og comes from. That's what we use now for father, Og, but it's a generic term, your father. The long time ago, the people, and there's still some families that still do this. I know some of them. I've heard them, but these families do this, and they will call their dad by their clanship name. So if a little boy calls his dad Apap, Apap, that means they're from that clanship. If they say Apki, they're from that clanship. If they say your mom, they're from that clanship. If they're saying your wow, they're from that clanship. So because everybody that is in that clanship, you call them that, but especially your father. So again, generic term, people went off and this whole thing all got mixed up and nobody's using the clanships. So now we have this word called Ogor, Og. That's why we say Og for your father. So your Ogor, that's that clanship, Ogor. These are from what they call the Jutum clanship. So the Jutum clanship, the reason they call it that is because one of the reasons is because the bear, the Jutum that represents those, are generally don't really live on the desert. They're usually up in the mountains someplace, way up Eagle Mountain or way up there in the higher up places that surround the autumn lands. So they come from up there and they go down into the desert once in a while, and they go back up. So that's why Hukam they're chosen to be the clanship father of that Ogorkam, because again they're from outside. They come in for a while and then they leave again, or not tam Jewett. Now there's some, again, Kanumuk, up there, Sierra Vista area, and back that way past Phoenix, and so that they're coming in like that. So that's what the fifth clanship is, that Ogor. So it used to be that a woman that had a son from someone from another tribe, they called him Ogor. But most recently, they started calling everybody that is not Autumn Ogor from that clanship, because you never know. There's a guy out there who's probably like really, really like his pinky finger is Autumn, but the rest of his body is all different white and, different other tribes. So, but he claimed because he's got a card and he proven that he's Autumn ancestry. So again, that there's nothing wrong with it. The man that Hoogie that is like that. He looks real white. He's got blonde hair, mustache, all this stuff, and you wouldn't be able to tell, unless he showed you his card. But again, he's from that Ogor clanship, so we never really know. So they just say, okay, all those people out there that are not Autumn are Ogor. They're from the Bear clanship. So Hook'em, those ones. So those are the 5 clanships. It used to be that you couldn't marry into your clanship. That when they decided who was going to be with who, that was something that they looked at, because the parents or the older people were the ones that put the people together. They were the ones that married them, and who decided who you were going to marry when you got old enough. They were the ones that decided, and they had to kind of barter and sell you, and it had to be worth a lot of money. you had to be your worth than the other person, the other sex, gender. They had to be worth the same, so you put them together, the ability wise. So in that way, that's how they did the marriage a long time ago. But they were the ones that kept it apart. Now after that, they take us off reservation, boarding schools, all that stuff, and then people start coming back with being with somebody that's not, maybe they didn't look at that, so they're with their sister, their same clanship, or their cousin, and so others bring back, like different tribes, and nothing wrong with it. But again, well, it starts to, the blood starts to get away from that, and that's, I think, one of the reasons that all of them don't use the clanship system anymore. There are some families too that do, but then they know their clanship, but they don't know other people's clanship. So how are they going to be able to tell when somebody, their daughter or son brings somebody home and they're autumn, and they don't know their parents because they live way over there and they're so far, removed from. That's why they're always asking you, who's your grandma and who's your grandpa, because they want to know, like, if you're the same clanship, if they know that. So anyway, that's just kind of a general about the clanships. But again, you can look on my website and look for that Wehmgal, and you'll see the drawings or the graphic thing that I put there, that you can kind of look at that and see how it kind of all fits together. But this is just the words, and like I said, I told him, it's, oh my God, look on there. Oh, we can, but we have to hear it. We can't just, next they're gonna want a movie, which I don't want to do yet. I need a haircut first and a shave. Anyway, so that's what this is. So any questions, please talk to me. And also, just subscribe. I still trying to figure out why they say that. Why you have to subscribe? They're not paying me anything or whatever, but it's good. So if you do on YouTube, there's a word down there. You can hit it, subscribe. Then I guess every time I put a new one of these on there, then they will let you know, oh, there's another one there, and that kind of stuff. So anyway, any questions, you can just get a hold of me and ask, and then willing to tell you. And then be out them first, Cuma come up to say early the matas match kat mo them ba ada boa mo imu itba chapi them be them, but piasa jonan maya agad. But if you're them, yeah, and and really tell you the secrets and all that stuff. Okay, so in the Baikachi, and when I have to upload this, it's gonna take like an hour and a half or whatever to do this. So piasa jo. Alright. To apa mo bihas ko himdam.